secondary camera just died, but it's fine. I also don't always love linen because it's so cute and comfy, but it's also like so prone to wrinkles. Has anyone fixed that solve? Like after you ride the subway, how do you de-wrinkle? I don't know. Anyway, hi. Hey, how are we doing? I hope the sun is shining way more when this airs than it is today when I'm filming this, which is at the beginning of spring, which we love. April showers bring May flowers, okay? Now, sometimes on the show, I talk about things I'm curious about, so I learn alongside you and share with you the findings I found. And other times, I share from really personal experience what's worked well for me or what's not worked so well for me and what I learned from those experiences. But today is one of those days I get to share with you something that adds a lot of meaning and purpose and joy and fulfillment into my life. And that is my best friends who all happen to live in different places than I do. Now, 5 years ago, I moved from sunny Los Angeles, where I'd lived for 10 years, to New York City, where I am now. But my best friends have lived that whole time in other places like Austin, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Seattle. And sometimes they've moved too to other states throughout that time. So, how do I maintain relationships with the close friends I have who don't live where I do and often live entirely across the country? One of them's in London right now, too. Fun. Now, before we begin, for my new friends here, hi, I'm Julie Bethany, and I create content to empower you to live your best, most authentic life as the truest to you version of who you are. And I give you the tools and resources to do that here. And I should say, if we're not official friends yet, I'd love to keep hanging out with you. And we can do that if you subscribe to the show here and or come hang out with me where I'm most active, which is on the gram at Julie Bethany, where I share daily empowerment for you in even more bite-sized bits. Okay, let's do it. Here's the agenda for today. We're going to start with the reasons I found it's really important to maintain my close friendships when those friends don't live where I do. Then, how I maintain those friendships. And finally, how you can start cultivating close friendships if you're craving more in your life. All right, let's start with the reasons I found it really important to maintain my close friendships when those friends don't live where I do. Because it takes effort. First of all, people grow and change, and there's a chance you may not live in your hometown anymore, and your close friends may not either. I don't have any close friends I met in my hometown, aside from my sister, of course. But even if you've been in the same proximity for a while, like how I lived in different parts of SoCal for a decade, you or your friends may decide at some point to try something new. This also makes me realize I should probably do an episode on moving across the country, so let me know if you think that'd be helpful in the comments. But people grow and people change, which is a good thing, and get maybe, I don't know, married or have a job that's offered to them outside of where they live, or they want to travel or they want to explore new things, and that may be you or that may be one of your close friends or their spouse or partners, and maybe that's what brings them away for a while amongst many other possibilities. And just because someone lives somewhere else doesn't mean you can't still have an incredibly close relationship with them. Now, my sister and I have obviously known each other over 30 years. My childhood best friend and I are also approaching that marker, which is wild. It's been over 20 years, almost 30. My college bestie and I have been friends for over a decade, and my bestie from work and I have been close friends for over half a decade. And we've lived in different states for sometimes the majority or half of our relationships, depending on which friend it is. But they are so special to me. You'll probably hear about them throughout the episodes. I mention them all the time. Every single one of them is special to me. And I find it one of the most important things in my life to do is to maintain those friendships. And if you don't have any close relationships like this yet, or you're starting over, which is something I did after a broken engagement, when a lot of my close friends for a time were from that friend group, it's okay. You can find and cultivate new friendships too that can become close friendships if you want. So, what makes a good close friendship? I've found that a good close friendship is built off of a few things. One is you can and do authentically share who you are with them. And of course, that's reciprocated, which of course also means there's no judgment between you of the other person's choices, and there's respect for their beliefs and support as a friend for who they are, no matter what they're going through, even if you don't fully agree or approach situations or life in the same way. Hopefully, the foundations are there though. And those things build trust. And of course, you make time to cultivate that relationship and get to know the other person and enjoy their company, whether it's in person or virtually. So, once you find that, how do you maintain those close friendships, especially if they're really far away from where you physically live? First of all, like anything great in life, you need to intentionally invest in the things you want to maintain and keep. And like a good investment, that friendship will grow the more you invest into it and you truly get out of it what you put in. And that does take effort, and a very unique effort at that, to maintain relationships that aren't as often in person. So, some things I do to maintain those close relationships are I schedule intentional time on the phone with them, whether that's through a voice call or FaceTime, to maintain that relationship. And I block off often hours a week for this. But lest you faint, I also pair it with things I need to do too. So, what does that look like? For example, I have standing calls with some of them and planned calls with others. So, some I call multiple times a week for a short amount of time. That's my sister on her drive home from work. Or I have a standing call every Friday with one, and I bring her to the laundromat with me. So, I'm feeding two birds with one scone. I schedule a pretty monthly call with another. And for another, she's more spontaneous. So, we tried a standing call, but got pretty busy pretty quickly. So, we schedule whenever we can. Something else I do is schedule movie nights with some friends, or we pick a show together so we can watch it and talk about it for fun via text throughout the week or on the phone when we get to chat next. Or we play a game on the Switch together like Mario Kart. This also fascinates me, but I was talking with a guy friend the other day, and I just feel like gents in particular maintain their relationships around the globe really well via video games with each other while they're, I don't know, taking out zombies or something and doing life updates. Now, this next one is a true investment, but I often go on what I call a quote unquote bestie tour at the end of every year because I tend to backload my PTO, and I travel to go see each of them like once a month for the last 4 months of the year, essentially, and spend a weekend or more time with each of them. And that does take sacrifice and money, but I do love to travel. And because I usually stay with them, it cuts that travel cost for me. And every now and then they'll come visit me. And sometimes that means we're co-working or both working remote, but are working together if needed. If I fly in on like a Thursday night and we both work remotely on Friday from like a fun coffee shop in their town, if needed, to maximize our time together. And sometimes we plan trips together, like a Disney trip, because, Disney adult, it's fine, where some or none of us live in the place we're going. And finally, I make sure to celebrate my friends how they like to be celebrated. Keywords, how they like to be celebrated. Depending on their love language, sometimes I'll send them a birthday gift or a completely random gift, or like a card with a Starbucks gift card in it for fun. Or I'll text them words of affirmation out of the blue to let them know how much I appreciate them or am thinking of them if they're like going through a breakup. Or I spend quality time on the phone with them if I can't be in person. It really does take creativity, but it's also so worth it. And it's honestly helpful sometimes to know I'm grinding often by myself in New York on evenings and weekends, like today. Though, of course, I do spend time with people here, but I have my network of best friends remain strong, even when I'm grinding a lot on my business. And it's really nice sometimes and less distracting, if I'm honest, when we're all over the globe, and it helps me be more productive. And sometimes I do virtual working on our dream sessions with some of them. Okay, finally, let's talk about how you can start cultivating close friendships if you're craving more. And this point begs for me to share too that not every friend needs to become a close friend, and not every acquaintance needs to become a friend. I had a friend who I spent a lot of time with in New York a couple years ago, maybe, who completely jumped ship on our friendship when she got a boyfriend. Tale as old as time, friends. But there were other problems in that friendship, and I just started to feel like I wasn't fulfilled after spending time with that friend toward the end anyway. And of course, I wish her the best, but we don't hang out anymore when we used to hang out a lot and for the better, right? So, for a reason or a season, friends. And I have an episode on bestie or friendship breakups too, which is episode 38 if you need that too. But all my best friendships have been a right place, right time sort of situation where I met them. And I felt like I just clicked with that person. So I invited them or they invited me to do stuff together for fun. So if you feel like you click with someone, go ahead and reach out and see if they want to do something. And over time, that trust and closeness will develop if it's right. If you take time with them and enable yourself and them to be your authentic selves in that friendship. And it's interesting because one of my best friends recently found this adorable dog walking and connection group in Austin. So cute. And said she'd found a new friend that was essentially like a hang out sometimes, but not best friend, new friend. And I thought that was so funny, but I have a lot of those too. So it is nice to enjoy time with people you enjoy, but that doesn't mean you click in the exact same way with everyone, or that there can't be different friends who you have different types and levels of friendship with. But cultivating and maintaining those close relationships, no matter where you live, can make your life super fulfilling. And you can feel like you have all the support in the world you need, even if that support lives in other parts of the world. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. And if you liked this episode, will you do me a favor and give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, rate it, or subscribe because I would love to keep hanging out with you here or on Instagram at Julie Bethany. And hey, if you're feeling stuck right now and want someone, aka me, to guide you through the exact simple steps of getting unstuck and getting moving on your goal right now to feel happier, I do have a free mini course you can watch right now and a full-length one if you really love it. And you can find that at juliebethany.com/courses or in the show notes here. And I'll put a clip in after Kippen makes her episodely appearance too. I hope you go today and start to live the life of your dreams as the best, most authentic, truest you version of yourself you can be. Because when you do that, you show others it's possible for them too. Thanks so much for watching. It's episode 50. That's wild. All because of you. Thank you. And I can't wait to see you next time. Look at my little baby. Say hello. She has her paw up against the mic. I don't know if you can see. She's over it. You want a treat? Okay. I call her treats tweets. Okay, have a good day. I interrupt myself for this very important announcement. You're so welcome. I am beyond excited to share with you that I have a free mini course you can take right now, but also maybe wait until after you finish this episode, but to each their own. I'm not going to stop you from doing you. But the course is about helping you get unstuck and re-inspired if you feel like you're in a place like a lot of us do often, honestly, where you just don't know what you want next for your life, or if you do, how to get it. The mini course includes 10 quick minutes of me sharing strategies to help you get unstuck and re-inspired, and comes with a complimentary one-page journal entry you can download for you to work through what you want for your life and how to create the momentum to get what you want next for yourself in the easiest and fastest way possible. And you'll take away actionable items you can apply right away. And as a bonus, after the initial course, if you still left wanting more, I'll tell you about my full-length version of that course that will walk you through creating a goal and a plan to achieve it in order to get you closer to the life of your dreams you want to be living, and the exact steps to do that over the next 3 months. I will hold your lovely hands in mine and guide you toward figuring out what you want and then how to get it efficiently if you want to take it a step further. I shall run the marathon with you after the sprint so that in 3 months you will have achieved something you really want in your life. All good things take time, so for the sake of the best version of yourself and the life you could be living 3 months from now, which will fly by, you don't need to put off your dreams any longer. You deserve to live the life of your dreams as soon as possible, because why not? So let's start today. I'm ready. Are you? To check it out and get the free mini course so you can apply the tools to improve your life right away, and or to learn more about the full-length course about going from stuck to re-inspired and really crushing a massive goal in only 3 months' time with me, the links are included with this episode. I can't wait to see what you create for your life with it. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming.